common denominator.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down.
I'm not here to waste your time.
Everyone has access to the information. We just know how to analyze it better.
Where else you gonna have this much fun?
You the man. You the man.
Todd Father.
Show me the money.
What I've been doing, had to triple my bag.
Had to triple my bag.
Wow.
Had to triple my bag.
Wow.
Had to triple my bag.
Yeah.
Had to triple my bag.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's no trick to make a lot of money. All you want is to make a lot of money.
What is going on? What is going on? Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Welcome back to another live episode of Learn Crypto. My name is Nick Hellman.
I'm Todd Butterfield.
We are your one-stop shop for crypto and stock, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and news. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like this video and subscribe. If you like the chance at free cryptocurrencies, then also leave a comment in the comment section below this video with your Rapids RPD wallet address or your Telegram handle if you are in the RPD tip bot. What you got going on over there, Todd?
Just another day in the trenches.
Right. So we are wanting to get live here. It has been a little bit, and you might notice it is quite a bit earlier. That is because I'm using my lunch, my 1 hour lunch, to get here and do live with you. So I do need to go back to the office and get some work done. But we wanted to get on here and give you a little bit of an update on what has been going on. If you are in our Patreon and Discord, then you do know that at worst case scenario, you were stopped out of Bitcoin at $9,925. And we did give a buyback at $8,200 down as low as $7,800. So hopefully you guys reaped the rewards on those gains, added a ton of Bitcoin to the bags, picked up alts so much cheaper, and we have been trading those in and out with profit stops along the way. Not a lot of news to go over. All the news articles, blog posts are about these TA gurus who say Bitcoin's failing, some say Bitcoin's going to the moon. It's all a bunch of garbage.
Crypto Twitter.
So let's go ahead and get the information in today. We'll talk about Google and its quantum breakthrough, whether that really poses a threat to blockchain and Bitcoin technology, as well as Bakkt. A lot of people are saying Bakkt launch is the reason we dumped, and I'll tell you what I feel about Bakkt here shortly. Anything to add, Todd, before we hop over to Coin Market Cap?
No, I've asked Crypto Lambo to stop in, but nothing else to add.
Also, guys, we do post some on Twitter, here on YouTube, whatever. All of our calls are public in Discord with over 640 people. Every call is time-stamped, or we show order books. So you can't really argue with us because we can't really lie because, see, there's 650 people that would call us out if we do so. So let's hop over here to Coin Market Cap. Bitcoin dominance, according to CoinMarketCap, is 68.6%, slightly down off the highs of around 73%. And the market capitalization is at below $220 billion. We are seeing red across the board. Bitcoin at 8,372, quickly rallying off that 7,800 print we saw over on Binance. Ethereum 167, XRP 24 cents, trying to pick back up the gains. As you know, this is one we want to keep our eye on leading into November, probably 3-4 weeks out, for the swell conference pump, if that will occur. What always follows XRP and what also has a conference in November is Stellar XLM, so that is another one we'll be keeping an eye on as well. Really, the most surprising one that took more wood than anything. Now, keep in mind, guys, we had profit stops on all of these, so we don't mind the red. We're picking them back up. Discord knows what level that is, but that is Litecoin, down 9% today, down to $56, Todd.
Whoa.
Around the halvening, people were absolutely calling us names and pissed at us that we got stopped out of Litecoin at $135 and didn't buy back to $90, and now we're sitting down here at $56. I mean, that is crazy. So before you get angry, let's see how the trades play out. Usually, more likely than not, they're usually playing out in our favor, and hold back the names. We got stopped out at 135, bought at 90, sold at 100, bought at 90, sold at 100, and now we're sitting here at $56. So that is pretty crazy. I would expect Litecoin to be just fine. I hear people now saying Litecoin is going to all-time low, Litecoin is dying, dead project, no use case. It's crazy how price action changes and depicts the conversation around certain cryptocurrencies. Litecoin is still available on all the fiat on-ramps. It's going to be available for all institutional investors. and still has a working blockchain, something that is going to be used and is already used in everyday life for purchases. So I wouldn't get overly emotional. And usually when people get overly emotional, it's giving you a screaming buy on those individual assets. So without further ado, let's let Todd actually look at the charts, kind of update you with where he thinks Bitcoin and crypto is going now. We'll go over a few news articles, and we will pick a winner for the RPD giveaway from our last live show near the end.
I'm gonna start out and be a little petty because I'm really tired of Twitter people that calling out scams and stuff, because there's a lot of scams on Twitter. But here's a guy, Crypto Lambo. He's talking about our scam group, and he's got a review coming soon with proof that we're scams. So be careful what you read. This guy says he might be a member, so tread carefully. But
says he might be a member, but never heard of him. He also doesn't follow me. So
and he's got a picture of his neighbor's Lambo as his profile pic too. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. No time for a scam group. So, as everybody knows, we give our trades. We give most trades on here. Anybody on YouTube knows that we've been talking 8,200 Bitcoin. So, I did actually call a low to the second and gave out a buy. So,
that's why I love Discord. Everything's timestamped, and everybody in there gets all the same information. And also, on top of that, you know, some of the scams out there, they're like, oh, pay us $1,000 and get lifetime membership.
Right.
We charge $40 a month. You can leave any month you want to. So try again.
We do this for real. Everybody knows that. So here's a Bitcoin 4-hour that we always show. We did get finally the break to 8,200. I mean, this is Binance, which is usually what I follow when I'm trading. Most of my accounts are probably Binance, Coinbase Pro. We did touch a 7,800. That was a 244 when I timestamped out of Discord. So at 8,200, I was really given a buy, and it went down within seconds to 7,800 when I made the post. So we've been looking for that. I mean, I didn't know it was going to come in a couple of minutes. The question is that the low, or are we going to work a little bit lower? If you throw the Elliott Wave on it, let's not do that yet. Let's go back to our software, because this is what kept us out of trouble once again. Anybody that's been a follower of the channel, you can say we had a buy signal up here. Everything looked good, came back down, and went to another new low. So we got stopped out here for small profits. Once again, had a buy signal, and we picked up like a 9,800 here overnight. Had a quick $400 rally or so. Everything looked great. Didn't want that low to give away, and it did. But what happened down here on the technometer, you can see over here we had a overbought technometer, which caught this high up here at 10.6 perfectly. Then over here, after we had this rally off the low, we had a nice little ABC pullback, but you can see the technometer went from about 44 here, which allowed some more upside. Actually, it ran up to a 52. Actually, it was a 52 during this day's high, which told me something was wrong with the rally and that we was probably going to be in trouble. And then there we actually just fell apart. Big red volume came in. So we did touch down at 35 and change yesterday. We're still at 36 and change. That is oversold. The problem is price action is horrible. Volume is horrible. But again, I've been calling for a shakeout. So what I think is really happening is just a shakeout at previous support, which is what Wyckoff would be looking at. We talked about, again, that level giving away. That level giving away and having a shakeout down. A shakeout really is a sharp movement down through previous support. But the problem with that is it needs to be somewhat quickly retraced. So we need to come down here, wipe up any selling, wipe up all the weak longs, and the composite operator pick up extra cheap Bitcoin. So we'd like to see that. Then we'd like to see a rally out of here, get back above 9,000, test around, and then hopefully on its way to new all-time highs. So if you take the Elliott Wave count that we've shown once again forever, which is this count here, we had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which was the first wave one, the ABC down for the 2 that we've been expecting. 8,200 was a number I've been throwing around. I mean, it is possible to still work lower, but if this count's correct, then we're ready for a wave 3 up, which goes to all-time highs. So again, don't want to get too far ahead of myself. We need to trade this thing as we go. And again, for Elliott Wave, I had shown on the way down. I got quite a few charts here. Because on the way down, it looked like we had, to figure out why this was looking so weak, I had to draw 1-2 here. There was another 1-2 here, and then another 1-2, which would have said we're starting wave 3 down. That is what we got. The problem was that everything bunched into 1. And then we're going to do some type of 4 that ends out here. And then still come down lower, which could just be, it could be 7,800. It doesn't have to be really deep. It could be deep, so we're going to have to be careful here trading it. But I think that's probably, that's a pretty good looking, because again, this was an easy 1-2, 1-2 starting. So it would look like we have further downside to go. The problem is the count could be this here, which means I go to a 2-hour. So that would be, this was an ABC, ABC, ABC for a big A here. Then we do a triangle, A, B, C, D, E for a B. And then we have 5 ways down. So this count would almost say that maybe the low's already in at 8,000. Then also, the wave 5, maybe it couldn't go below the wave 3. So it'd be a failure. Which again, if we do that, that would just mean that maybe 4 gets a little higher here. And then 5 comes down and can't even go to a new low because the 3 was such a dramatic new low. And that could happen because that wave down to 7,800, 8,000 on most exchanges. That was pretty wild, pretty quick.
We were literally on the phone call watching it go down by 100 at a time. It was crazy.
So that could be a failure 5th wave. So that's why, again, if you don't own any Bitcoin, some of these coins have been annihilated. I think you need to be a buyer here to hodl. You need to be a buyer here for your trading bags. And I don't know an appropriate stop level at the moment because I need to see more action. Again, this is all Elliott Wave. So Elliott Wave gave us really good roadmaps here, all the way up, all the way down. But at the end of the day, I got to follow the software. The software is still oversold at 36. So again, you got to be long some here. If we go to the 5-minute, I'm going to bring that up real quick because this is what made that technometer go to a sell signal. Let this load. While we're waiting for that load, we're going to go to the alumni page at learncrypto.io. We haven't updated this in a while. We have been selling a few more courses. So down here at the lower right, you'll see definitely a few here recently, and also quite a few here in the last month or two. So
shout out to you guys for taking education in your hands. That is learncrypto.io, our Wyckoff and cryptocurrency trading course. If you are a Patreon member, you see the tab up there. You do get 20% off the Discord. So you get like 2 free months of Patreon.
Yep.
If you go that route.
Here's the 5-minute Bitcoin USD intraday price with volume. This was interesting. It did this back at 6,500 before we had to break to 3,100. Bitcoin USD quickly out of the blue went to an overbought reading. Hardly gave you time to take advantage of it. And really, that's the same thing that just happened here. We had there 2 or 3 days ago. It started, only took about a day and a half for it to really go to a quick sell signal. And here's what happened. You had this big rally here, and that was a rally from 97, 9,600 overnight up to that 10.3 when actually I was out of town. But what happened here, as you can see, this sell-off right here came while the volume was going sideways. So there was no selling coming in. The price was falling, really just continuing to fall out of bed, doing that 1-2, 1-2. So when you have price action like that with no volume coming in, it told you that really was weak because it was falling on no sell volume. So sell volume came in, it was going to collapse. And that's exactly what happened. Sell volume came in and we collapsed. So, and then you can see here, we got a new low over here on the far right versus the break. So that's decent action short term because you've had more selling below this low while price is holding. So again, that tells you that was a pretty extreme low. But would like to see more of that. Need to see another few more days of something like that happening, where sell volume's coming in, but not taking price down. That would get the technometer more oversold and would make me more comfortable that we've made the major low. Because I think we're making a major low here. So, again, everybody knows we've had a huge year. You're only as good as your last call. I think we're making a major low here. So, that's all I know.
Sounds good. I'll steal it for a second. No major questions in the chat box right now. Somebody said, what's the RPD giveaway? Simply like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section below with your RPD wallet address for your chance to win. We'll draw the winner from our last live show here shortly. Somebody said, could we drop to 3,000? I don't really think that is going to happen. What about you, Todd?
No.
I don't think so either.
No
I think
way in hell.
What was the price that we said we'll never see again in our lifetime?
$42.50, I think it was.
$42.50, $5,000, somewhere around there. So, also said if we ever went below $4,000, we'd take a mortgage out on the house, so that did happen as well.
And you did.
So, things are going pretty well. Let's get into, since there's no questions, we'll get into a couple news articles and keep this moving, and then I got to get back to the office gig. Before we get started, for everybody watching, we are doing a Patreon-only live show, so we won't be live on here on YouTube. It will be an unlisted Patreon-only live show. If you want to have access to that, you need to be a Patreon member. We are also doing a giveaway, 4 crypto giveaways, each valued around probably 10 to 15 bucks. So you got a chance to even get money back. If you do sign up for Patreon today, you will be charged again on the 1st of October, but we like to do this at the end of the month. If you sign up tonight or before the Patreon-only live show, we will actually refund your money on the 1st. So it's almost like you get 5 days free over at patreon.com/learncrypto. Get right into the Discord, know where we're buying, know where we're putting stops, and get access to that Patreon-only live show tomorrow, as we will not be doing a public YouTube show tomorrow. So get that going, check it out, and if you do sign up, I will give you that Discord link shortly after this show is over. So you might have heard that Quantum is apparently having a quantum breakthrough, and people are worried that this may ruin blockchain or Bitcoin. Well, let's read a little bit about it. Obviously, this is way over many of our heads, and it's really irrelevant because it said it's not going to be until 2022 where this really launches. So you still got 3 years on the books before you can really even analyze it from a technical perspective. Last week, the promise of an emerging era of quantum computing seemingly became a reality as Google released a new scientific paper claiming, quote, quantum supremacy. While this could have a tremendous impact on future of mankind, fears arise that it may also pose a giant threat to Bitcoin. Quantum computing has always been the chief innovation that threatens to break Bitcoin as its contemporaries, and currently cryptographically secured public keys are the only safeguard standing in the way between users' funds and financial ruin. We know these as private keys. We always say never give your private keys to anyone unless it's a loved one or in your will. If quantum computers manage to crack the encryption afforded to distributed ledgers, or blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies as we know it, then it would most likely spell an end to the almighty Bitcoin. A tweet by Bloomberg technology reporter William Turton relayed the NSA's plan to create quantum-resistant cryptography. Further reports suggest that rather than a secret NSA crypto project, it comes I can't read today, Todd. It comes an effort to secure the U.S. against ransomware attacks from other nations. Within the cryptocurrency industry, developers also battle to lessen a quantum threat. This can be done via different proof of work, via different algorithms. We know Digibyte is talking about this a lot. If there's a quantum resistant or more quantum resistant algorithm that they can add to the 5 that they already have. One such venture from David Chum, known to many as the father of digital cash, is a quantum resilient cryptocurrency known as Praxis. After reading that, I think he probably is the one who wrote the article, trying to give himself a shout out for his new cryptocurrency. According to Cham, the project is built to weather against exploits such as Shor's algorithm, combating the blockchain breaker via quantum-resistant signatures within its consensus mechanism and structure. Now, again, I said that you probably have until 2022 that we have to worry about this. I don't think there's enough proof to say that this would end Bitcoin or blockchain. Also realize as they are creating quantum computing, that developers are also trying to create quantum-resistant algorithms, so it will be a battle of time and one that we'll just have to keep up on. For now, I don't know. This did come out before the big dump, so did this fuel the dump? I don't know. The charts were telling me and Todd for a long time that we were bearish that we were going to see a dump. I think this FUD could have also helped propel that, and many people are now trying to blame it on Bakkt. but Bakkt has only had 56 Bitcoin of volume so far. Really, I think the anticipation of the Bakkt launching actually helped prop the price up. We've been bearish here for a while, and the price just kept holding in. Once Bakkt actually launched, there wasn't the short-term explosion, the short-term volume. Maybe then the market finally decided that Bitcoin was going to go lower. I do believe that long-term Bakkt is very bullish for this ecosystem, but short-term it is quite irrelevant. Although, I mean, what were we saying for a month or so in Discord that the price that Bakkt was already being priced into Bitcoin, and we weren't going to see an explosion once the launch happened.
I said the break would probably be blamed on Bakkt, and that's exactly not what's happened.
Right.
So I called that one 2 weeks ago, I think, live here.
And then conversely, am I worried that there's only 56 Bitcoin in volume for Bakkt? No, I am not. Realize that traditional investors only work Monday to Friday. This launched on Monday. It's only been a few days. It does take some time for the paperwork to be signed and people to agree to invest in these types of products. So it's not going to happen overnight. Like I said, I think long-term Bakkt is very bullish for the ecosystem with their physically delivered futures contracts that does not exist in the realm of Bitcoin as of now besides this. But short term, it really is kind of irrelevant. We'll have to wait and see as this Bitcoin volume continues to grow. I know the first day was only like 28 Bitcoin. Now it's up to 56. So we need to see more and more users come on board, more and more institutions trusting a known name in the ecosystem. Bakkt is not known, but ICE and the New York Stock Exchange is very known, and that is who owns Bakkt. So that is very bullish for the landscape of this ecosystem as well.
We got a lot of excitement on the chat here because error loading obviously was mouthing off. So he says no one has met me. I don't know what that means.
We've taken pictures of people that come in town.
I mean, lots of people have came here. I do meet a lot of my clients. I have flown to meet some of my clients. Clients have flown into me, but I don't know what that means anyway. I mean, if you met me, you would know I'm a scam artist, I guess.
For sure. Not that we use our real faces and our real names and have 650 paying Discord members and been live on YouTube at the lows when nobody gave a shit about cryptocurrencies. We were down there telling you need to buy. Look at the macro. Look at Bakkt coming. Look at ERSX. Look at institutional money. Look at the technology. Nobody gave a shit.
I've been a registered investment advisor on my own for 23 years now or something. So, and the other thing he said, because I like talking about this stuff, because he says that I make more money off my paid group than my actual trades, which obviously, I don't understand that anyway. If you're good at what you do, I think if I'm going to sit here and trade 5 Bitcoin for myself, I'd a lot rather trade 5,000 Bitcoin and build a big following and move markets and trade big. So that's really what I'm trying to do. And actually, I make more money off my private client group versus my Discord group, to make that clear, because, and first of all, no, people pay me because they're happy. They don't pay me because they're unhappy. So I don't know how that's a scam. I do what I do, so crazy. But don't delete everything that he says, because I want to see some of it.
Right, it's not that big of a deal unless
the long shorts micro alone. I mean, shorts have not come into this market. That's probably the biggest thing that makes me a little bit worried that the low's not in. But the shorts have not came in at all, so I don't know. Again, I think that's the only fly in the ointment, that I would expect way more short selling down here. But I think that's coming down here, and I think, we're doing a little triangle down here that I think probably won't work. So that's the only thing I think is a problem, is we need more shorts, we need more people giving up. But I do think the people that bought at 13.5 and 13.1 and 12 and all that, they did give up. They did get stopped out. What was the number you said got wrecked yesterday? 720 million?
724 million got liquidated on BitMEX yesterday, or something crazy like that. Like many multiples.
That's
so that means there's tons
longs.
of people leveraged longs. And then it was like 10 million in shorts as people started shorting when you probably had the 7,800 print, and that quick reversal leveraged them out. I mean, this is something we've all also been talking about. The reason that the market cap is kind of stalled here, I mean, stalled is a relative term. You went from 3,200 to 13,000. So, I mean, right. It's all relative. But in terms of Bitcoin from all-time highs, the reason we've been saying it's stalled is because all the retail money is just getting flushed out of the ecosystem. I mean, the amount of money that people lose When you get liquidated on margin, it means you have zero Bitcoin and $0. You make a bad trade on Bitcoin, you got your cash still, or you got the Bitcoin still, you're still good to go. But when you make a bad margin trade, you are out. That all goes to BitMEX. Yes, I'm sure BitMEX puts some of that back into the crypto ecosystem, but they have overhead, they have employees, they got bills. So that money, that $723 million, maybe a fraction of that goes back into the ecosystem. The rest goes into dollars for bills and houses and everything else. And now you're just continually pulling money out of the crypto market. Rather than in the retail blow off top, nobody really understood margin trading. It wasn't as readily available, and people just didn't do it. So all they were doing is putting more and more money into the ecosystem, and you didn't have these massive liquidations of retail money being pulled out. I think this also hints to you that institutions are coming into play. We do know Brian Armstrong did say that about 200 to 300 million per week of institutional money was going into Coinbase custody. So why aren't we mooning institutions are coming in? Again, it's a relative term. Bitcoin did go to 14,000, but they continually and slowly put money into the ecosystem while all the retail investors continually get liquidated and the money comes out. That's why you get a wash. That's why the market capitalization kind of stagnates. And that's why you're going to continue to have volatility in this ecosystem. I highly advise against margin trading unless it is a very small portion of your bag. We don't recommend margin trading our calls in Discord. Why? Because you can make enough money just being accurate enough on spot longs and spot sells and continually trying to add more Satoshis to your bag. There's no reason to add that increased risk level on your trades on an already volatile ecosystem where you can pull 5, 10, 15, 20% gains or losses in a single day.
What up, Dane? Dane's from St. Louis.
There you go, Dane. Yeah, well, you can meet up whenever. I mean,
Somebody
I don't know.
asked
I probably met 50, 60, 70 people from YouTube and Discord just at the one Texas cryptocurrency event. Had a couple people come into St. Louis and actually met an individual down in Florida as well when I was on family vacation.
Somebody wanted a roadmap on Litecoin. Let me show. I think the rally was hard to account for Elliott Wave, but I think off the high you had a WXY here or ABC. So I think you've had an ABC down, then you had an ABC up, and then you had another ABC down. So, again, I think we're mopping up the decline there. Might be over. You've got quite a bit of support down here at this previous triangle, which I had marked because we caught that rally in Litecoin all the way up. So 45 or so, I think, that's probably the downside limit, I think, on Litecoin if we get Bitcoin to stab another new low. So I think that's something you want to pay attention to. Again, there's all the buys coming off the lows that we gave live on air on YouTube. So we caught Litecoin nicely. Same thing with the Bitcoin. And the software, I was using it sparingly back here trying to get comfortable with it. It did go to an exact sell at 6,500, but I'm telling you, it happened quickly. It was like hours later, we had that big drop. And it is kind of the same thing that just happened here in the last few days where the technometer deteriorated out of the blue. So it was interesting that happened. And they really all buy signals all the way up. The only major sell we had was at 13.5. I did that live on air as well, saying we used 200 from a sell signal. We gave a live sell at 13.1. So again, 8,200. That could be. Could have seen the low. So, are we spike one more time? Maybe maybe we say 7,500 or something. But I'm not planning on that. We'll see how the next few days go. Hopefully, get some more action behind us, and then try to stay out of trouble if there's one more sell-off. Otherwise, if we're going to new highs, I mean, you better get some hodl bags ready to go right down here. And actually, Ethereum's got the same type of a setup as Litecoin, really. I think I've got it marked here. Hold on.
People are talking about the Cardinal game last night. Yeah, it went to 19 innings, and then the Cardinals still brought home the loss. Now, I wasn't up for that. I think it ended at like 3:30 a.m. or something. That is just crazy.
Now, there's 5 waves up in Ethereum. We called this one live right when we was coming off this high for 5 waves up. And again, this wave here, this third wave, it also subdivided out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on the way down, corrections are hard to trade. ABC down, ABC back up. That is an upthrust and a downtrend. I know we talked about that live as well. So that was a quick run up, come back down to average level of closes. So that was an ABCX. And then the thing was, this could have been A, B, C. And that's where I wrote the article for CCN where we did some buying at 172, 178. Rode this up and got stopped out at 205 on the way down. And yes, I did buy at 188 and got stopped out at 180. Again, thinking the lows were already in, so I gave up a little bit of our profit. But then what ended up happening then was this was the A down, ABC up, ABC down, 5 waves up. So that's your ABC now. This is the C finally. So again, somewhere down here, the lows in or damn close. And that would be at that 150. I was looking for a 160 low because that's this previous little triangle over here. Then we got another somewhat down here at 135. So 135 to 160, I think, support range. Maybe the lows in, maybe not. But again, I think if you buy that thing and go away for a while, you're going to be happy.
Cool. See what's going on in the chat box over here. Somebody said, do you think BCH can be worth more than Bitcoin in the future? Miners change to BCH with the Bitcoin halving, etc. I do not believe so. Bitcoin Cash is actually one that, even when Todd has a really good setup on Bitcoin Cash, maybe I'm just biased, I do not even take the trade. It's just one of those where I really don't want to be caught holding the bag. I see a lot more now, people giving crazy price predictions for Bitcoin Cash or saying it will surpass Bitcoin. I really don't believe that, and really I think it's overvalued. Personally, if you look at the market capitalization of Bitcoin Cash, it is over $4 billion, higher than Litecoin, EOS, Binance, Stellar. Ask yourself, what has Bitcoin Cash done for you? What has Bitcoin Cash done? A whole lot of nothing besides forking over to Bitcoin SV, so that community got even smaller. I believe it's overpriced, and I do not want to be an owner of that. And like I said, Todd gives trade setups on it because people ask, and sometimes, they do set up. It does give a nice pump, but it really hasn't outperformed here in a very long time, and it's not one I want to get caught holding a bag of. If I get into EOS, Litecoin, Stellar, Monero, Cardano, the list goes on and on, besides Tron, really. I don't like that one either. If we get stuck in a trade for a little bit and it takes a little while for that thing to get going, I'm fine with it. I have a long-term vision. Bitcoin Cash is one I'd be sweating for sure if I'm stuck holding it. Now, I know there's people out there who like Bitcoin Cash, and probably some of you watching. That's why this is my opinion, and that's why this is my portfolio. If you disagree with me on allocation to Bitcoin Cash to make up your 100% portfolio that you're trading with, hodling, etc.
Everybody here has a wrench unless you've done something stupid like the error loading guy or whatever. So most people without a wrench is just somebody who hasn't been here maybe enough, don't recognize the name, etc. Otherwise, if you're bringing something valuable to the community, you're going to have a wrench. What would invalidate the bull market?
Somewhere to get it, or use your promo code. Essentially, if you sign up right now, we will give you the Discord link right after the show. You'll then have access to the Patreon-only live show and giveaway tomorrow. You will then be charged on October 1st. So simply when you get charged on October 1st, pay that bill, message me and say, hey, I signed up at the end of last month. I was told I can get a refund. I can then verify your 2 payment dates. One will say 9/25, one will say October 1st, and I will refund one of those. As we did say, if you sign up now for Patreon, you will get a refund, so you get 5 days for free. You will get access to the Patreon-only live show and giveaway tomorrow, as well as Discord after the show. So as simple as that. If anybody signs up today, tomorrow, to the end of the month, when you get charged on October 1st, simply pay that. Message us. We can verify the timestamp payments, and we will refund one of them. That way you're not getting double charged.
What up, InvestNor?
And you can join I don't know. In Discord right now, we have somewhere around 655 people. I think we have somewhere around 600 on Patreon.com, and another 55 make up me, Todd, Carrie, and people who pay us with crypto.
Actually, Mark, I'm headed to Chicago Friday morning to a meetup of wealthy individuals. And a lot of them talking Bitcoin. So I'm going up Friday, coming back Saturday night.
James B said, hey, Nick, give us your favorite alts. The ones that we trade on Discord a lot, off the top of my head, I'm probably missing some, are Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, ADA, Atom, Link, Ethereum Classic, XMR, XLM, Basic Attention Token. And that's pretty much a good list there. Neo. Neo's another one.
Good.
So those are the ones we trade. Why do I trade those? Well, we've been very successful on them. We're continuing to pull profits out of them. And then I can maintain exposure to alternative altcoins that I like for the long term. So the goal there is to continue to trade the same amount of altcoins. This is our trading philosophy. Say you have 100 Link. You trade that Anytime you make a profitable trade, your goal is to end up with a 100 link once again and put all profits into Bitcoin or USD Tether for the next major Bitcoin buy. That way you're continually adding sats to the bag while maintaining exposures to alts that you love based on your portfolio size and the percentage that you want to hold for that altcoin.
I'm going to
look at some charts.
I'm going to go over GDX here in a minute. Well, somebody asked, first of all, Greg says, are we in a continuation of the bear market from December 2017? I mean, I just don't believe so. The correction looked corrective, and the rally looked impulsive. So, and for me, all I can do, when I get a sell signal like we had there a few days ago, just got to pull back, take some risk off the table, and see where it goes. So I get a sell signal 3 days from now, and we're sitting at this level, you're going to see me moving out quite a bit because we probably got more of a smash coming. So all I can do is trade my indicators. So I don't think it does anybody any good to say Bitcoin's going to 28,000 or 36,000 or whatever. You got to put on a good trade somewhere around here with a good risk reward, see where it leads. When I give a lot of trades, everybody's wanting objectives, blah, blah, blah. And I don't, you can do that off point figure charts and et cetera, but I think you need to get a move working for you, get an uptrend started, et cetera, and trail a stop and see where it can take you. So I think that's where we're at here now. So no, I think everything is still good. I think we're still headed higher. And I've traded the rally so good and it works so correctly that, what is that? And I've traded it so well, I guess I feel more comfortable that I'm right because I've not really made any missteps so far this year. Here's GDX, somebody asked about. I gave this sell yesterday in Discord. I also gave it to pro traders. Again, why I did that, technometer here on Friday. Extreme overbought, almost 60 level, 50 is really a sell. And again, this kind of looked like a little ABC-ish, or if nothing else, it was ABC up, ABC down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what happens, you get a good close up here, everybody chases it. So it's just a low risk area to get short. That's why I gave the sell at 29.48, which is just a hair lower than the close, somewhere up in there. So good day today. Technometer still 54.52. I would almost guess we're coming down below this low at 26.60. So this is going to be an A down, that's a B up, and we're coming down probably over here, take out this low, 26.04. So I'm looking for probably a 25 something print and an oversold technometer, then I would cover shorts. For now, if you're short, I haven't done it. I had to stop up here. I think it was a 30.50. I'm probably going to lower the stop to this high somewhere in through here, maybe even the high of today, and hopefully let that thing work lower.
Invest New War said, I'd love to make you a regular on my show. I think everyone should be learning and following you. Go ahead and message us on Twitter. Our Twitter handles are there in the bottom left.
I did the podcast with him once.
And we can figure it out.
That's who I did the podcast with.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And then here's the other problem. I've mentioned this before too, that interest rates is really, this doesn't have my buys and sells. I'm not logged in. I was long, the best trades I've done this year really was TLT because of low interest rates. This is the bond market rallying and the gold and silver. So the problem with that is we did have a buy signal down here. And actually I was a little early on this buy signal. But what happened is that we went to a sell the last couple of days. And when this is down, it means interest rates are going higher and probably Bitcoin's headed lower. So this is bearish kind of Bitcoin, I think, still too. Because, again, this might have been an A down and a B up. We're headed to somewhere down in here, 133. Or at least we're headed down halfway correction to 139. So I think this is going to pressure Bitcoin maybe still a bit more. Or if we come down and get a buy signal on TLT, that would be good, saying the Bitcoin's ready to go higher. So I watch a lot of that to help form my opinion on Bitcoin.
Shout out to Jason and Philippe for just joining Patreon. I will get you a link here in a second once I'm done talking. A couple people are talking about the flash crash, if that's what you want to call it, in hash rate on Bitcoin. It did go down about 30% or so. That could have also been another leading indicator or something that created FUD and helped generate the downspin in Bitcoin that we did see. People were talking about, oh, is Bitcoin broken? Is the blockchain broken? Did it get hacked? What happened? It could be as simple as this, guys. Number one, I know that ASICs are getting upgraded, the S9s, I believe. So what do you have to do when you do an update on your computer? You have to shut it down or restart it. So if a mining farm had to shut down or restart the ASICs in order to put the upgrade on there, then that would have caused a hash rate decrease as well. On top of that, it could have just been as simple as a power outage for some of the farms. We do know that a lot of the farms are located in China and other locations. Usually they're pretty large and usually make up a pretty big percentage of the Bitcoin hash rate. So if there's a power outage or an issue, then that would take down a lot of the hash. Now, thankfully, number one, Bitcoin does automatically update its block rewards. It does take, I don't know, something like 2016 blocks, so it does take some time, but that does occur. And then also we see already today that the hash rate is rising, not to the highs that it already saw, but it did already recoup, which leads me to believe that my theory of some kind of update for the S9 ASICs is probably what occurred. So nothing really to worry about there. Did that help dump price? I did see on Twitter people are freaking out saying Bitcoin got hacked, blockchain broken, so I'm sure that helped, but I don't think it's anything to worry about currently. And like I said, the hash rate is already returning. And then somebody wanted us to talk about XRP. So maybe you want to pull up an XRP chart. XRP is one that we've been following for a while. Haven't really traded due to how weak it's been. And we figured it would be underperforming Bitcoin, which we are seeing. The next catalyst for XRP price is going to be leading into the Swell conference in November. And if you want more in depth on why bag holders are mad, why coins are being dumped, then I believe it was my last live show with Todd. I believe probably about a week ago, we did go in depth on XRP and who's dumping, what's dumping, why they had to pay Jed McCaleb another 100 million XRP, even though he already openly sells billions onto the open market. That we had a really in-depth conversation. So do you want to look at the TA maybe on XRP here briefly? I know you probably won't have much to add there.
I mean, I think XRP's, I'm not a big fan of XRP and really don't own it for people except the ones that wanted it. I mean, again, we've got some extra selling coming down here at the lows, price holding. I mean, I really think that 22 was maybe a pretty good low. We might not see it again. So, again, I'm not no XRP expert. Or if we spike that low one more time on a Bitcoin smash, maybe spike it again. But I really think XRP is maybe finally ready to get something going here. I think we've just got everybody out of it. So, I wouldn't mind holding some XRP here if you want to. Other thing, Square. Square is a stock that we did have some losses on recently. Because I'm so bullish about Bitcoin, I think that'll help this stock out. And also think that the worst is over here. So if your time frame's a little bit longer term, I think you can buy Square here and just put it away. And I have done that for some stock clients. So, not sure the technicals. I mean, don't have a real buy signal here. I will have one, I'm sure, somewhere over here in the next month or so on some type of action, but I think you could buy that and you'll be happy in the next year. And also, I will agree with like Thomas Lee when he says that, and I've said it as well, that stocks and Bitcoin are going to move together. So if you're really bearish stocks, that's going to hurt Bitcoin, I think. So I think we still got lower interest rates, which is the TLT chart I showed you. So I think interest rates are going to stay low, maybe even go negative. I think stocks in the U.S. are going to be the only place to go with foreign money. So I think stocks here stay friendly. And that's coming from a bear because I really am bearish longer term probably. But I think we're just set up for stocks to continue higher, interest rates lower, and Bitcoin still higher. So I think people making money in stocks will throw it over into Bitcoin. At some point, we could have more of that happening. But if stocks collapse, I think Bitcoin's going to collapse. So I don't want that. I want the juices, speculative juices, to stay alive here. And then I think we can have still a blow off on Bitcoin again.
Shout out to the 420 people watching right now. That pretty much answered Trade Safari Social's question. He said, do you see influence of DXY and SPX on Bitcoin price? And I think you kind of said that you think the market affects it, number one. But really, we've been following the TLT chart, which has been doing a pretty good job of kind of being a indicator for where Bitcoin price is going as well.
And I think the dollar is going to make a big top. I keep trying to be short that. I talked about being shorted here recently. Today would hurt me. I didn't short it. Still want to be. So somewhere here, the dollar's going to turn down and really put some wind in the sails of Bitcoin. But I obviously still not there yet. Today's action is looking like that the dollar wants to break up one more time. So hoping for an up thrust up here.
All right, let's go ahead and do this giveaway real quick. This will be from the last live show we did together. So if you guys don't know, up here at the top is all of our live uploads. Down here is all of our recorded ones from interviews with McAfee, Thomas Lee, Rob Viglione, Charles Hoskinson, and such. Make sure to like those videos. We'll try to get the interviews going again. Just kind of been a little busy, a little lazy. We've had Patreon, Discord, YouTube, price action, etc. But we need to get those going once again, as I know they provide a lot of good insight. But this will be from this video we did together, which is right here.
Now we're going to do some horse. I was at the horse track Saturday night.
There you go. We'll go ahead and copy that URL. Put it in here.
I'm rich, bitch!
And the winner of 10,000 RPD is... Man, my camera's been this messed up all show, and you guys didn't even
Gary
say
O'Connell,
anything.
what up?
Nadheem, Nadhini S. Very good stuff. Yours, excellent work. Keep it up. Telegram ID is right there. So since you gave me the Telegram handle, I will send you 10,000 RPD directly to that Telegram handle. If you guys like free cryptocurrencies, then like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section below saying whatever you want. But make sure you have your RPD wallet address or your Telegram handle if you are in the RPD tip bot. Go back to the overview here. See if there's any questions in there while I go ahead and send this individual.
Technometer on AT&T, and that's coming from 808 Crypto, which I got a feeling is from our Discord. I mean, they're 53.62, so that is bearish here. AT&T, we are long. I bought that somewhere up in here. Again, I'm not logged in, so it's not showing me my usual. But we gave a buy on this before the last breakout. This was a spring and an uptrend, and I would hate that level to give away. And with an overbought tech, I mean, I might be giving a sell here, not sure. I would like to see this to be a triangle formation and have one more new high is what I'd like to see. I might just use a stop here at 36.49. So if you're long that, 36.49 stop, and or sell here. But you had good, this is a good green volume bar off the lows and light selling here. So this could be a little spring, a little test, and one more new high coming. I still think ultimately we're going a lot higher. But if you're trading options, trading shorter term, you might want to take the profit.
What else we got? Somebody said thoughts on CoinMine. Essentially, I think it's just a high cost of entry to get into mining. The ROI is not very high on it. You'd probably be better off just having a gaming computer and mining when you're not using it, to be honest. Like I said, I think the cost of entry to the ROI ratio is way too high. It's going to take you something like 10 years to make your money back at current prices. Now, obviously, crypto prices can go higher, but at that point, you might just be better taking that money and putting it into the crypto market. And also, that being said, CoinMine is brand new, so there's no real historical record of if it lasts you 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, etc. So, I mean, if you want to mine, I would say get a nice gaming computer with a high-end video card in there and just mine some small coins, Raven, ETC, whatever, when you're not using it, or build a mining rig. I mean, you can get a 3-card mining rig for cheaper than a CoinMine, which is a 1-card rig, and produce a lot more crypto that way. I know it is very efficient. It's very easy to use. But like I said, if you're not going to take the effort to want to mine on your own personal computer or make a small mining rig, then you might as well just take I forget what that thing even costs, take that $1,000 and just put it into Bitcoin here at these levels.
What up, Blaine? I just wrenched you, Blaine Watkins.
Gary said he's never won a prize in 3 years. Gary, you got to participate in order to win. I don't ever see your name in the pool for any of these prizes.
Aimbot Falcon, what's up? XRP, we just said, I mean, I said the lows might be in there and might be ready to go higher. So I'm not a big fan of XRP. I own none for private client group unless client really wants to, but that is one that might not hurt to throw a little bit of money in. I wanted a new break below here, and really what we had was, everyone's calling that a continuation pattern. Instead, it was an A up, B triangle, C up, and then a new low. So I think the low's in, or maybe we're going to stab it one more time, which is a risk, I think, on all these coins a little bit. But I'd have to be long some here. BNB. We can look at that one real quick, too.
BNB is one that I think you probably want to pick up somewhere down here.
There's BNB. 40 down to 1586. I'd agree that, some type of impulse and correction, so I'd agree with that too. That one's cheap here. Here's BAT.
I wonder if some people are still holding this at 50-cent highs.
A shout out to BZ.
Telling everybody to buy.
he bought it right up in here, saying it was going to keep going higher. I think he might be error loading, so he has definitely got an error loading. And that one's all the way around trip. So, and that one might be cheap here as well. I don't really follow that one like that, but same type of chart pattern.
This is one I have not given a re-entry back in Discord yet, but I will be looking at some levels to do that. The reason being is Basic Attention Token has a working product with Brave Browser where it is the native cryptocurrency. It works, it's effective, it's better than Google Chrome even when you get used to it. So I do like that they continue to do developments, continue to have a working product. I think it's just seen a lot of downward pressure as the alts kind of fade when these other alts take their spot. We're seeing a down market. Also, they did a massive airdrop of Basic Attention Token that was meant to kind of stimulate the ecosystem for people to give that back to content creators, to websites, etc. And I think you saw that the community we live in is very greedy. They probably just took those free BAT, didn't really put them back into the ecosystem, took them to the market and sold them. So I think that's kind of what you're seeing out there. And yeah, I agree with Todd that somewhere down here is going to be a good entry level for Basic Attention Token for another impulse move higher.
And I probably would look at Link, another one that I don't really trade, but that chart I think looks interesting. I talked about a shakeout down here to the 180 level. We've gotten that, and we're holding up pretty well. So that one might be interesting.
You can look at Link. I can't really give out any set price levels, as this is one that we trade heavily over on Discord. So if you really want those price levels or previous performance, check out that on Twitter. But if you want what we're doing now, that is over on Discord. So I really can't give that out. Todd can kind of give a general outlook like he just did, but we're not really going to give our buy zone levels.
Yeah, you got to come over to our
we got
scam.
Too many people.
You got to come over to our scam Discord.
Right. We got too many people trying to get entries into that for me to be giving that out here today. And then Ambot Falcon said, Nick, I got a rig and I'm mining with Nice Hash. Not looking good though. What software you use to mine those coins? You said. Shout out to Bits Be Trippin'. If you go to Bits Be Trippin', he has a big YouTube channel, but he also has a multi-miner that you can download from GitHub. So you can either get that on his YouTube or on his website, where I think the website name is Bits Be Trippin'. I download that. He always is updating that with different coin options. And then he has different miners already built in, whether you're using AMDs or NVIDIAs. Makes it super simple to switch in between different coins, different algos, and see what works out for you. Currently, I use NVIDIAs to mine Ethereum Classic. I usually hodl on 50% of those and roll 50% of those on any ETC rallies into Bitcoin. That's just kind of my general outlook. I'm not really looking to dabble into any high flyers with how weak the alt market's been. So it's really Ethereum Classic or Raven are my two mining choices currently.
My take on Twitter, the stock, I think probably it made a little spring today and had a nice rally back. So I'd hate for the 41 level to give away now. So I'm long in there, and we'll raise my stop to that as well. AMD has been another stock that we've been long. Wasn't correct. AMD. XRP Freak says that Link is a scam. Interesting. AMD came down, same type of thing, kind of acting like Square in some of these. Stopped out of this one, but I still think probably this one is going higher. So I need to figure out a way to re-enter that one, I think, at some point if the indicators come together.
There's also a rumor that Disney is looking to buy Twitter. Now, I don't think that Twitter will be sold, but man, that just Disney never wants to slow down, which is kind of a catch-22. It's like good for investors in Disney because it's just going to keep growing. It's blue chip, gives you your dividend, but bad because they just keep accruing debt. Right when they start making big money, then they're like, wow, let's spend $100 billion and buy this social Twitter platform. So I've seen a lot of people like, well, why wouldn't they just make their own? Because the value isn't in the software. The value is in the users. Twitter already has the users. If you build your own software, I'm sure they could replicate Twitter, but then you got to convince people why they need to switch over to Disney's version of Twitter, which is much harder to do than just buying Twitter outright, not even renaming it. 90% of new users won't even know Disney owns it, kind of like Venmo and PayPal. A lot of people talk shit on PayPal. Use Venmo. That's what you need to use. Screw PayPal. Well, PayPal owns Venmo, so that's the way that they go about these mergers, and that's where the real money's at.
Gregory wants to know about Dash. I mean, Dash isn't one of my favorites. Chart, 60 to 180, back down to almost 60. I think the downside's done, but not my favorite. But I think you can own it here. EOS, same type of thing. I mean, got crushed yesterday. Was acting very well. And same type of thing. I think you can easily count 5 waves up, and then you got the same ABCX, ABC. So I think the downside is limited there as well. And that's coming. You guys realize I was bearish all the way up there saying we was going to get this break. We've gotten the majority of the break, so now you got to switch your thinking. I mean, you got to start thinking about what you want to hold,
right? What
you want to own.
And also realize it's a little tougher for us to be too worried about the potential for more downside risk, as we bought a lot of these live on air, Patreon only live show, made a post in Discord at 8:27, Patreon only live show at 8:29. Then we were buying alts on the way up. We put on profit stops, and some of our re-entry levels have hit. So it's hard for me to want to run stops for losses after we just pulled out gains, found a low risk entry near what we think could be the localized lows here. So yeah, you might eat the egg for a little bit. We have one more stab in Bitcoin. Alts might dump a little more, but that's nothing to worry about, as we've already pulled profits out. You get good positions here and you wait a little bit. I mean, if everybody's so bullish on this ecosystem in the long term, I don't understand why people want to, hey, we just saved $2,000 on Bitcoin, profit stopped out of every single alt. Now what? We need to do something. Relax. You got your entries. You made your money. We made more Bitcoin. We chill out for a second, see how the market acts, and then deem whether a stop needs to be put in place. Ideally, we see a rally here. We start putting on profit stops, and then you can really just sit back and relax. If the market wants to dump again, who cares? We get stopped out for 5-10% profit, and we look for the next entry. So that's kind of our philosophy. That's what we're working with, and that's why we're not really keen to put a stop on here. Why would I put a stop on something we just got so much cheaper, just to be stopped out and watch it explode right in front of our faces? I don't think that's a smart idea, and that's why we're not choosing to do so.
Ricardo asked about ADA and VET. ADA, I mean, I got that chart up. I don't have much ADA. I mean, I have much to say. Another weak one, but probably cheap here. I don't know if you got anything on VET. And I want to answer Hunter Hall. He says, what Bitcoin price will you guys stop trading and having YouTube videos? Probably never stop trading, and YouTube videos, I'll just probably go to a cooking show. I'm gonna fry daddy chicken or something. So just to keep doing shows. I don't know. You have a price you're gonna quit doing?
I don't think it's really dependent on a price. I think it would be dependent on irrelevancy of the technology. If Bitcoin gets to the point where it's irrelevant as the technology, surpassed, isn't going to be used, isn't going to be adopted, all of which I don't think it's going to happen for a while, because all these institutions are putting money in to not only Bitcoin, but into the products to sell Bitcoin to retail investors like your mom and grandma, then that would be the case. But for now, I just don't see that's the case. We did YouTube videos all the way to the bottom.
I'm going to trade this
at 3,000 and believed in the space when nobody else wanted to. So yeah, we have major entries down there. Our original Patreon members, the first 25, are getting entries at 3,000, 3,500, 4,000. And now we're sitting here today at 8,000 and people freaking out about a dump. Well, we're feeling all right.
They're staying the dump to 7,800. I mean, my trading bags were 100% cash basically across the board. So I wouldn't have cared if I went to zero then. So actually, I was hoping that it fell more. It's just 8,200 was the level that I had said previous, which you got to do. You got to be prepared with your plan. So in the middle of the battlefield, you don't, stare at a deer and not do anything. Just stare at headlights. So 8,200, I had said that was a level where I was just going to start buying, and that's what I did. I knew the technometer was oversold, whatever. So, I mean, I'll probably trade Bitcoin to zero if that's what ends up going to it. So, and YouTube videos, I'm just going to start a cooking show. And VET, I mean, back down to new lows on VET. I have nothing I can say about that.
Right. I think you're back to new lows. If you got profit stopped out, we're already looking to get positions back. I think the next catalyst for VET is for Walmart to take it from testing stage to I have forgotten that VET does have a working partnership with Walmart to use their blockchain technology in order to track some of their food products. So that's pretty huge once that becomes a reality and not really just a testing situation like it is now. On top of that, VET does produce passive income if you hold it on Binance. So that's always a good opportunity. You know, we love our ROI coins where they produce for you even when you're sleeping. And that's all I got.
I'm going to do a show with Snoop. The problem is I do not smoke weed, so I don't drink, but I will say I did do 6 or 7 shots last night.
Oh, God.
And I do have a headache from that. But, yeah, no smoking, no drinking. I just trade.
There we go. I think that's about all we got. We went long. I got to get back to work, honestly. I'm already 5 minutes late now, so we got to wrap it up. No YouTube show tomorrow, but we do have a Patreon-only live show and giveaway. Sign up at patreon.com/learncrypto for access to that as well as the Discord. When you get charged on October 1st, we will refund you one of your payments, meaning you get 5 days for free in Patreon. Also, those of you who are interested in teaching yourself, head to learncrypto.io for the Wyckoff and cryptocurrency trading course. And guess what? If you are a Patreon member, you do receive 20% off that course. So it's virtually 1.5 months of Patreon for free with that discount. So it only makes sense to join Patreon, get the course, and do your thing, and get on the gain train. Get on the right side of the trades and the right side of the market like we have been for a majority of this year. Anything else to add, Todd, before we head out of here?
Nah, we've just been killing it. That's all I can say.
Shout out to the new Patreon members that signed up during the show. I'm about to get you your link. And then also shout out to the new course members that Todd read their names off this earlier in the show. So if you want to check out that alumni list, you want to see the transparency, our hub to everything we do, whether it's free or paid, is on learncrypto.io. It leads you to Twitter, to YouTube, to Patreon, to a free blog that carry updates each and every day, to the trading course, to the beginner course, and the list goes on and on. Something there for everybody. Get involved, whether it's something free or something paid. We're here to help you along the way in your journey in crypto and stocks.
Now I got one more thing. Crypto Lambo, who said we were scam artists and he was going to prove it, he has shorted 13,000 on Bitcoin because it's headed to 6.
There you go.
So it's easy to say I shorted 13,000. Yeah, okay. We're going to bring up Crypto Lambo, who follows me.